and this is Callan Seitz. Broadcast live from St. Bonaventure University on 88.3 The Buzz. Alberto, how are we doing tonight?
I'm good. We got a little taste of spring this afternoon. We liked it. I liked it.
I did too. It was beautiful outside today. So
hopefully we turn the corner. But I was looking at next week's forecast. I think we have snow next week.
What?
Again.
Really?
37 and snow, I think, on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I thought we turned the corner. I thought we turned the corner last week.
Yeah.
But there's snow again next week. So I don't know what's going on in Western New York. Not about it.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not about it. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. Start March Madness, of course. Big games, big upsets. What's your biggest takeaway? We'll start with that.
My biggest takeaway. I think this is the best March Madness I've ever witnessed. I
truly think that because the upsets, the games. I mean, even the Florida Vatek game set the tone. I love that game. Went into OT. Vatek had the late 3-pointer to force overtime. It was fun to watch. I think this is just one of the best March Madnesses I've ever watched because the upsets, the quality of games. I mean, I'm really tuned into every single game, and I'm wired watching it. I just love watching college basketball at this time of year. And it makes up. I think it's already made up for last year's cancellation, and I just love watching some March Madness, man. I love it.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong. And obviously, the biggest upset with Oral Roberts, which is what we'll talk about in a little bit here. But just some housekeeping to take care of in the NCAA tournament thus far. The average Sweet 16 seed I thought I saw was like a 6-point something.
5
something?
Yeah.
5-3, which is pretty low in my opinion.
I mean, that's pretty high.
You think it's high?
Well, because you got the 3 1s.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You're right. But just upsets made up for the lack of a tournament last year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we can go all the way back to Friday with our first upset of obviously Oral Roberts. Got the technical upset with Oregon State over Tennessee there, big 12-5.
Yeah.
Technical Wisconsin, North Carolina, 9-8. Got North Texas over Purdue in overtime. You've got Rutgers over Clemson, Syracuse over San Diego State. That was all on Friday.
Yeah.
Then you move into Saturday. You've got, let's see here. Ohio, that was a big one over Virginia. Maryland over UConn is a technical upset. UCLA over BYU. And then second most shocking in the tournament, Abilene Christian over Texas.
Yeah.
So big upsets in there. And also, we'll mention it real quick. The Bonnies played. I think that's all we're gonna mention.
The Bonnies played.
They didn't even play, as Rizzo says. They didn't even play.
They kind of showed up. Kind of.
They didn't even show up. They thought they were still in Olean when they woke up today or woke up on Saturday.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. So we're not gonna talk about that though. They would have got killed by Michigan anyway.
Probably. No, they would have.
They would have. Like you said, it still would have been nice
nice.
for us to at least know where we're at in terms of the big dogs of the country. But I mean, you can't even show up for a half. It's pretty disappointing.
We'll have that Bonnie's conversation as we get closer to the next season.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be really good.
I mean, it still leaves a bad taste in your mouth how they just didn't show up.
Absolutely. So look at some Sunday games. The biggest upset of Sunday, Loyola Chicago dethroning Illinois. I had them as my champion. A lot of people did. Tough break for brackets around the country. Let's see. Syracuse with the big upset over West Virginia. They are scorching hot right now.
Yeah.
They are scorching hot. They made how many threes in those first 2 games? Ridiculous amount.
Incredible.
Ridiculous amount. Buddy Boeheim's on fire. Once again, we'll get into some of these individual teams shortly. Oral Roberts over Florida. That was a big one for you. That. Oregon State over Oklahoma State, which is kind of shocking also. So
it was. No, it is.
It was.
No, it was.
It was. I thought
it was a fabulous game too.
Because I've been saying that it was going to be Oklahoma State, Illinois possibly win the entire thing.
Yeah, that was pretty much consensus too, and across the country. the winner of that game was probably going to make it to the Final Four. Yeah.
And
No,
we,
yeah.
we don't even get that game.
Nope.
So we don't even get that game. Yesterday, Monday, the tournament schedule was kind of throwing me off, Alberto. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it was.
Usually we get the first 4 Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday first round, Saturday, Sunday second round. This year everything was pushed back a day for some reason. Not sure why. I'm guessing COVID testing stuff.
No, it was and quarantine.
And quarantine.
Coming from each,
Mhm.
everybody's coming from their respective states. So
So Oregon upsetting Iowa in an absolute slugfest, bloodbath, 95-80.
that was bad.
That was not fun.
That was bad.
That
Especially
was
the
not
last
fun.
25 minutes of the game. That was bad.
And then USC number 6 taking on Kansas, the number 3. USC destroyed Kansas. Destroyed. 85-51. So we'll start there because we're going to get into our Sweet 16 stuff in a little bit here. But I just cannot comprehend. Like, I know it's Kansas and they're always like there.
They don't show up in the Big 20.
I mean, they usually can get to the Sweet 16.
They don't. Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're Kansas,
Trying to
you're
win a championship every single year. I mean, from the time I've been starting to watch college basketball, maybe since 2011, 12, I've seen Kansas in the elite in the Final Four twice. The most recent was, I think, 16 or 17 when they got obliterated by Nova in the Final Four game. And they just don't show up. And Bill Self is a tremendous coach. He's had tremendous squads, especially over the last 5 years. And I'm surprised he hasn't won a championship because, Rizzo can attest. I mean, those teams with Devontae Graham, Frank Mason III, as a Buki. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't won a championship or at least gone to the championship game.
Last year, I honestly think they probably had their best shot in a while, and I don't think they would have flubbed. Obviously, we won't know the answer.
Yeah,
but I really do think they would have legitimately made a run last year because they were the best team in the country last year. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was them, Gonzaga, Dayton, 1, 2, 3 in that order.
Baylor too. Baylor as well.
Baylor was up there also. I'd probably put them at 4.
Okay.
So, but once again, that's last year. But Evan Mobley is something else. And his brother was even in on the action too last night.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't even know he had a brother.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
The Mobley.
And I honestly, I've never sat down and just watched USC play this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know why. Out west, don't usually watch it.
Yeah,
But
understandable.
he's a beast. I didn't know. I knew he was good, and I knew he's going to be a lottery pick, I assume. But I didn't know he was that good. So
No, he is. He's lottery. He's lottery material.
Yeah.
I mean, after this tournament performance, he might go top 3, top 4, depending on which teams fall on that order in the lottery. I mean, if you're
Cleveland, that's nice because they're guard heavy. That's looking nice. If you're Charlotte, but Charlotte's looking good though.
yeah,
I mean, if you're Cleveland, that's looking real nice.
it is. It really
That's
is.
looking real nice.
So let's see some other games that we could talk about real quick. Is the second round matchups at least is the Oral Roberts Florida game. We could talk a little bit about Oral Roberts and Ohio State. Oral Roberts is a team that's going to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and they're not going to stop. So
they put on 2 spectacular performances.
Yeah.
Especially right out of the bat. I was watching the Ohio State Oral Roberts game.
Max
Max
Eastman, and he was firing from the logo in the first half. Not in the first couple minutes. He was setting the tone.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then obviously the ending. We all saw the ending with Dwayne Washington missing the wide open tray from the top of the key. That was that was heartbreaking for Buckeyes fans. But you can't feel bad for them. You can't feel bad for them.
No, I do not at all. But
You can't feel bad for them.
supposed to be one of the best players on the team, and you miss a.
He is the best. He is the best player on the team.
You miss 2 wide open threes like that.
I mean, yeah, we could talk about him for a second. I mean, he single-handedly lost the game for Ohio State.
Yeah.
First of all, it shouldn't even have gone to overtime. This game
should have been a blowout.
This game should have been a blowout. But then once it did, and once they were in the overtime period, Dwayne Washington, taking contested layups with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. The play before that setup that was right before the offensive rebound, that was terrible. And then the shot itself that costed them their season. That was terrible. But you can't take anything away from Oral Roberts. I mean, this is a Cinderella story.
Absolutely.
This really is.
They are this.
Yeah.
Can you see the?
Yeah.
But let's talk about another team who just won one game. I would watch this game on what was that, Saturday?
Yeah, this was Saturday night.
I was unable to watch any of that game. I saw highlights. What did you watch it?
They locked up.
They did lock up.
They locked up. And I was this was like an upset that everybody just overlooked because it was Texas. They're coming off a Big 12 championship. And if you watch the Big 12 championship, those guys went off.
Yeah.
Jericho Sims, Coleman, Andrew Jones, they all went off. And there's no shot that they would lose this game. And they did. And they got locked up. And look, Abilene Christian, they're covering machines.
Yeah, they are.
They are covering machines. And this line was, I think it was 8.5, 9.
I got it at Texas -9. So
that line was very low.
Really work out
And the money line was only maybe like 330, 350.
Really?
Yeah, it was very low. So Vegas knew something, and those who supported.
Yeah.
I mean, that line was. I mean, listen. I mean, that's hindsight. I wouldn't have taken that. I just because I see Texas and they balled out during the Big 12 tournament. But you got to give it to Abilene Christian. And then yesterday they had a stinker. So
yeah. So one more game to talk about before we. It's Loyola. Get the job done against the number 1 Fighting Illini.
Mm-hmm.
And my big takeaway from this game is Illinois' inability to adapt. Loyola ran the exact same pick and roll with Crutwig for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And it worked 98% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Illinois and their head coach did nothing about it.
Yeah.
That's shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's shocking to me.
No, you're right. You hit the nail on that one because in halftime they should have came out. They're running the same pick play. We're hedging so much. Crutwig is rolling, and we get it every single time. Brad Underwood should have done a better job. Honestly, it looked like Illinois didn't even want to play that game.
No, it really did not.
Every single person on that team except Andre Curbelo didn't look like they wanted to play that game on Sunday afternoon. They literally did not want to be there. Their effort was just lackluster. I mean, obviously that stems from maybe overlooking Loyola because they're an 8 seed and you're a 1. You're the Big 10 champ. I bet that's definitely part of it. And then maybe once they were down by 10, it was it. They probably gave up. They gave up.
Yeah.
They gave up.
And I think that they were looking at it. They were saying,
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. And
they were looking at Cade.
Oh, man, that's going to be a great one. They got to win that one.
Yeah.
Loyola's sitting there staring you in the face.
Yeah, they were definitely looking at Cade and like, ooh, we got a matchup next weekend. We're looking forward to playing Cade, number 1 overall pick, most likely. We're looking for a nice date there. But, and they ran the same. I was frustrated watching the game because I was like, why is Kofi Cockburn hedging all the way out past the 3-point line? What are we doing?
No reason.
There's no reason. Let the guard fight the screen. You just sit back. Crutwig is not taking a deep 2. He's not taking a 3.
No.
I don't know what.
I don't. It shouldn't be a problem if you can't guard him. It's Kofi Cockburn. You can't guard anybody.
I don't get it.
It was a frustrating game to watch from a
Illinois.
I just didn't understand that.
It's bad. So all right, let's move on to the Sweet 16. One more note, which we'll get to in a second. One Big 10 team left standing. The Big 10, the unanimous best conference this year. 1-8, I believe. 1-9.
What, in the first round or in the overall
Of teams left. 1 out of 9.
Oh yeah, 1 out of 9 teams.
1 out of 9 teams left.
Michigan being that one team. Princeton and I were just talking about that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. They played, and there's 2 reasons. One, every single Big 10 game is a battle.
Okay.
And they got fatigued from playing a quad 1 game every single game of their schedule, so they got fatigued. And 2, because they played the same teams over and over again, a Big Ten physical style of basketball.
That's all they knew.
They didn't know how to adjust
Mhm.
to a different type of basketball. That's all they knew.
Yeah.
Like you said.
I gotcha.
There's 2 reasons I think it's because of that. And look, Ohio State, they didn't adapt to a opponent offense at all, Roberts. Maryland, I mean, look what Maryland did last night. I mean, what was that?
Alabama shoots the lights out.
I mean, what was that?
And Illinois couldn't adapt to a simple pick and roll.
Yeah, you got Rutgers who blew an 11-point lead in the second half.
That was bad.
You got Purdue getting upset by North Texas. They couldn't hit one. They hit one shot in overtime, but it was with like 3 seconds left.
Michigan State, UCLA game. That was close.
Michigan State blew a 16-point lead. I mean, in the second half, I don't know what we're doing there.
Who else was there? They were missing 2 teams.
Iowa, they got
crushed.
that was gonna happen eventually. Iowa's defensive flaws were gonna be exposed.
Yeah.
And first of all, they're unathletic. They're the most unathletic 2 seed I've ever seen in my life.
And with that game, that's Oregon is like a 4 seed.
Wisconsin, I was very surprised that they won their first game against UNC. I thought they were going to be pretty outmatched by the UNC size, but they won that. And then they hung in there with Baylor for the first maybe 30 minutes or so, especially in the second half, the first couple minutes. But I'm more disappointed in Iowa. Ohio State, obviously, and then Purdue. Purdue was hot.
Yeah,
and
Purdue was the big head scratch. Well, obviously, besides Ohio State.
Yeah, Purdue. I mean, that was just a genuine upset, and then Purdue just didn't show up in the overtime period. First of all, they shouldn't even go to overtime. First of all, it shouldn't even be a 10-point game.
First of all, it should be Western Kentucky, not North Texas. So let's move on to Sweet 16 now. We got Oregon State and Loyola.
We got Oregon State Saturday at 2:40 on CBS. The Ramblers right now are 6.5.
I've been underestimating them in the last 2 games. They've absolutely pummeled Tennessee and Oklahoma State. I think it stops here, though.
Yeah.
I really do. At Loyola Chicago, it juggernaut, but
defensively,
they're looking really, really good.
Defensively, they're a juggernaut.
I've got Loyola.
Yeah, I got Loyola.
Yeah,
I'll take Loyola even with the points. The over is pretty. It's at a good spot. Vegas knows what they're doing. It's at 126. So 63 between either team. I think
it'll go over.
I don't think Oregon State scores 63 points. I don't think they score 60 points in this game. It's tough. It's tough. It's the over-under's at a good spot.
All right.
It's at a very good spot. So you take the cover there with Loyola 6.5.
I mean,
I like Loyola.
My answer now. I think Loyola will cover. For
Okay.
those of you who don't know, Alberto, myself, Rizzo in the back there, and a couple other friends
doing a spread each game, see who's the best at it. So
I'm not going to give away any of my picks.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Unless they're locks.
All right. Yeah.
Unless they're
These Saturday games are good lines.
I was going to say unless they're Baylor and Villanova.
Oh, you think this is an easy pick?
I think
it's an easy pick. I think Baylor's going to blow them out. Villanova should not even. I mean, no, but like I'm just saying, without Gillespie, they shouldn't be here. I don't think that they're.
I mean,
they beat Winthrop, and that was a popular pick, right? Because Winthrop was the top 12 seed, and Villanova without Gillespie, we wouldn't know how they would function in the first round. But then we got to thinking, Jay Wright's not losing in the first round, especially to a Winthrop team. And then they played North Texas. They benefited from playing North Texas and not Purdue. I think they would have beaten Purdue.
Really?
Yeah, I think they would have beaten Purdue.
Okay. So what do you got in this game then?
I got Baylor winning. I don't know if they'll cover. I know Villanova's going to put up a fight because it's just Jay Wright. He knows what he's doing. He's without a starting point guard, but it's worked so far. Obviously, those teams weren't Baylor.
I think Baylor's going to win by 15 to 20 points.
Okay.
I think it's going to be close. And then the last 6 minutes.
It'll be like 6-5.
It'll be like 6-5 lead.
5-6 point lead.
Yeah.
And then they'll go on like a little 8-0 run, get it up to 13, and they'll put it away.
Okay. I like the under in this game actually.
What's the
So it's 140.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's it.
I like a
I like
60, 67, 60 game.
Good line.
I like that. These are good lines for Vegas. I mean, they're taking a lot of, they're they're trying to score with some people this weekend. That's for sure.
All right, our next game, the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, the 15 seed, play number 3 Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas -11. This line is tough for me because of how good Oral Roberts is shooting, but the Cinderella run ends here. Hogs get the job. Blue Pig.
I like the Oral Roberts cover.
Plus 11.
Plus 11.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. This should be a shootout.
This should be the Colgate Arkansas game on steroids.
This should be 95-90.
Oh yeah,
This game. At least 98-5.
we might see triple digits in this game.
This is the best. The Villanova Baylor and the Oral Roberts Arkansas, I think, are the two games that I'm most interested in watching on the what is this Saturday? Yeah, this is the Saturday slate.
Honestly, I think I might actually disagree with you. I'm very interested to see Oregon State Loyola.
Oh, really?
I'm very interested to see our next game.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
I think all 4 are going to be fantastic.
Yeah. So we both got Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our
Okay.
final game on Saturday is number
11
Syracuse,
number 2 Houston. And the reason I am so excited, not excited, but cannot wait to watch at least, is Syracuse is on fire right now. Houston, first off.
Yeah.
Syracuse might be a little underrated, I guess, coming into the tournament.
They were.
But Houston's
I
overrated.
mean, listen, we can always argue Syracuse. Do they deserve to be in? Or
It's
not?
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do, and that's why they put them in because
they win. They go to
games like that.
This is the third trip they're going to the Sweet 16 in the last 5 years. They made it to the Final Four in 2016 as an 11 seed. In 2018, I think it was, they made it to the Sweet 16 as a 10 seed.
Yeah, it's Boeheim. It's March.
Yeah, and look, Boeheim does a perfect job, and he recruits amazing. His recruiting is amazing because he picks out defensive-minded pieces. He makes sure these guys can play in his zone, and then they'll start working with their offense.
Yeah.
But primarily, he recruits guys if they can play defense. If you can play defense, you'll be recruited to Syracuse.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's simple. And this Houston team, I mean, they haven't impressed me.
Yeah. They should have lost to Rutgers.
Should've.
They should have lost to Rutgers, and this should be Rutgers Syracuse in my opinion, and this game should be like 50 to 49.
Ooh, okay.
Like, but I think the game's going to be a little more high scoring because Houston will make Syracuse shoot and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I'm still up in the air. I'm gonna take Syracuse right now.
Yeah.
I think Syracuse covers 6. They might win this game outright. So
No, I think Syracuse will show up again. I think Houston's gonna be flushed.
They're going to see that.
They're gonna
They
see
know the
that.
zone's
They know the
coming.
zone's coming.
That's what happened to San Diego. They had a week to prepare San Diego State.
I don't know what that cabinet that was bad.
And once you see it, it's completely different. It's a completely different animal. Once you see it and you're like, uh-oh, what do I do? Same thing happened with West Virginia in the first half. If West Virginia wasn't lackluster in the first half, they would have won that game.
They would have won that game by 15.
Yeah. And I think once Houston sees, a pretty good defense for the first time in quite some time,
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna know what to do. They're gonna get pretty flustered and they're gonna chuck up shots, and I don't think they're gonna make them. I got Syracuse maybe wins by 5 or 6 in this game.
All right. Move on to Sunday. 4 more games.
This slate, this is one of the best slates I've seen in
March Madness in a long time.
I don't know about our third game, but the other 3 are
They're still tremendous.
They're still tremendous.
Creighton-
number 5, Gonzaga number 1, and I honestly would not have a problem if any of the 4 teams that
quadrant within
Yeah.
play this game. But I'm now glad that it's Creighton the way they're playing.
Yeah.
They are playing phenomenal basketball right now. Gonzaga's 13.5 favorites. I don't think that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, I'm still up in the air on most of these,
Yeah.
or I could find you your
Okay.
face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But no, I think Creighton gives them the game by like 8, 9, 10, maybe even more.
But I think Creighton keeps it close. Might have a lead inside of 10 minutes. Who knows? So,
Okay.
who do you got in this one?
I got Gonzaga with the cover.
Mm.
Listen, Creighton's playing phenomenal basketball.
Yeah.
But it's like Rizzo said over there. It's Gonzaga. Listen, I mean, I'm surprised Creighton even won the game against Ohio yesterday. Ohio's riding high.
They should have lost to Santa Barbara.
Look, and that was a hot pick because Creighton, the way they showed up or the way that they didn't show up in the Big East championship game first time. I mean, how do you think they were going to respond to Santa Barbara? They weren't going to show up.
And Santa Barbara in that game had a chance to win it with 2 seconds left. They had a little fadeaway kind of in the paint, little jumper layup sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the guy back ironed it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Ohio came out super flat. But
No, that Ohio game was pretty.
yeah.
pretty disappointing.
So we both have Gonzaga winning the game.
Yeah.
You more
Yeah, pretty handedly.
You have them pretty
Yeah,
handily.
pretty
I have.
Okay. Okay. It should be a good game in the first half. I'm excited because I think this current team is a little bit overrated the entire year. They've had bad losses. I don't think they show up against Gonzaga.
All right. The second game is Florida State, Michigan. This one, phenomenal, absolutely.
This is gonna be a fun
Ryan opened
game.
at Michigan -3, moved to 3.5. Now it's back down to 3. I think Florida State wins outright.
Yeah.
I have Florida State winning outright in my bracket. I'm going to keep it, but I would not be surprised if Michigan won.
Yeah. This is the game that I want to see. I put it down on my bracket. I have Florida State winning. I have Florida State winning on my Final Four. This is the game that I want to see. This is probably the best game over the Sweet 16 round. Maybe even the tournament. I think the matchup wise, this should be a fun. I think Florida State, they lock up in the second half. Michigan is going to really struggle without Livers. Listen, they played LSU. They're not that good of a defensive team. They're the worst in the country.
Go Bonus.
They're the worst in the country. Michigan exposed it in the second half. They finally ran away with that one. And I think Florida State exposes that against Michigan. Michigan without Livers. This is going to be a tough test for Florida State, but I think they get the job done.
All right.
This is fun.
Third
This is gonna
game,
be fun.
UCLA, the 11th seed from the first four. They're playing the Alabama Crimson Tide, and they shoot the lights out of the building, and that won't stop. And Alabama gets the job done. I have to say, UCLA is running here.
Yeah, I think UCLA runs into a brick wall. And listen, I've told Rizzo the entire year. There's like maybe this game
Of Alabama season, I'm like, I'm not on this Alabama train. I'm not. And then yesterday, I was finally convinced. Finally. And I'm like not on the train yet. I'm kind of there, but I got Alabama winning this one.
All right, so I think they probably will cover, and if the over dips is at 145.5 right now, if it dips a couple points, I might take that too. I would.
Yeah, they definitely. I think they cover in the first half. I think they cover from there on.
I like that little first half guy.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the final game of the Sweet 16. Number 7 Oregon Ducks. Number 6 USC Trojans. Pac-12 battle. They've been phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're covering machines.
Yeah.
They're 9-1 in the tournament. They're 9-1 covering games. It's impressive.
The Pac-12 has really showed up.
They
They have really. They're also alive.
Except Colorado.
Yeah, except Colorado. They're all 4 out of the 5 teams are still
Are you
alive.
still wearing that shirt, by the way?
Yes, I am.
Colorado Buffaloes.
I'm wearing the Colorado Buffaloes shirt right now. They disappointed yesterday, but it's all right.
Yeah, but still, I'm just shocked. And right now, if I had to do a quote unquote power rankings of in the tournament, I think they go something like I got USC or Oregon,
probably.
and they're all in the same region.
Mm-hmm.
And Oregon and USC have to play each other. This game is going to be phenomenal. USC is favored, so obviously if Oregon wins, they'll cover. But if USC wins, they will cover.
Yeah,
because it's only 2.5.
yeah.
But I will be up until Sunday at 9:45, still trying to decide who I want. I'll take USC right now, though.
So this is the game that we're gonna differ on.
All
I
right.
got Oregon.
All right.
It's
This
gonna
is
be a
gonna
great
be
game. I gotta do
great.
research. I don't know how these two
I gotta
teams
do
fared
research.
against
I
each
don't know how
other
these
over the
two
regular
teams fared
season.
against each other.
I think maybe
Oh,
Oregon only played
yeah.
once because Oregon had 2 separate COVID pauses.
I'm pretty sure USC won.
I gotta see how these two teams fared. This should be a phenomenal game. And I love how it's the night game.
The night game.
It should be a lot of fun. You take the over.
I'm definitely taking the over.
They played on February 22nd.
Ooh.
USC won 7 at USC.
That's definitely not happening again.
Yeah, no. It's going to be really close.
This is gonna be a great game. I got Oregon. I'll take the over too. It's at 1 right now.
All right.
That's a nice spot for me.
Had to break. We've been talking for like 31 minutes. All right, that's okay. Before we had to break, our original Final Four, we're going to give that, and we're going to give our revised Final Four.
Okay.
So my original Final Four was Gonzaga, Florida State,
Arkansas, and
Illinois, and my final was Illinois over Gonzaga. My new Final Four stays with Gonzaga and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't do Illinois anymore. So the 4 teams down there are Loyola, Oregon State, Houston, and Syracuse.
Mhm.
I'm going to take the Loyola Chicago Rams to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And I'm switching my pick on the bottom left of the bracket. I'm sharpshooters from Alabama.
Okay.
So that sets up Gonzaga-Bama, which would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
High-scoring game.
Yeah.
And that sets up Arkansas and Loyola, which I don't know how that game would go. That's a high-power offense and a high-power defense.
Yeah.
If I haven't really put any thought into this of who I'd pick. I
think Loyola wins
I
that
would
game.
probably take Gonzaga.
Okay.
And I think I would take them over either of those teams, Loyola or Arkansas.
I think Loyola wins that game.
You really do.
Yeah, I think Loyola wins that game.
I'm a big
That's what I'm
Arkansas
saying.
Razorback bandwagon at the moment, so I'm going to take Hogs in that game. But that'd be very interesting. So
Yeah, as much as I'd say, I think Loyola wins that game. I don't want to see them in the Final Four.
why not?
I just don't.
I just don't. I just do not want to see that. I don't just no. I don't want to see it. So I gotta go over my Final Four or my was the original.
Final Four and what's your new Final Four?
Okay, so I had Gonzaga, Florida State, Ohio State, and Illinois. So my revised would be so my revised would still be Gonzaga, Florida State on the left side. And then now it's gonna be Baylor and Syracuse.
Oh, I like the Q's pick.
Yeah. So yeah, I got Loyola and Syracuse in the Elite Eight down there. And then I got Syracuse winning that game against Loyola, going to the Final Four.
That's who I would have in my Elite Eight too. I think it's tough.
That'd be a great game.
Yes.
That'd be a phenomenal game. And I think the athleticism will take Syracuse over the edge.
Okay.
I think it will. Yeah, I think it will. They got a little Final Four run in them again. That's why I hate Syracuse. I hate Loyola, but I just you got to put Syracuse there.
All right, that's all we got for now. We're gonna go to come back. We're gonna talk some hockey. We're officially halfway through the NHL season, and then we'll tell you what we have in line for next week. So don't go anywhere. This is Cal and Seitz on 88.3 The Buzz. was Cal and Seitz. Alberto, you move seats.
I did.
What happened?
I thought I was about to die.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So we're gonna go right to the NHL. We have a show,
A lot is unfolding.
and we are finding out which teams are for real and which teams are not.
Yeah.
One of those for real teams is the Florida Panthers, 3-1 to the Blackhawks, but they are a good team. Sasha Barkov, though, tonight left after the warm-up. Rangers fans here in the room. Like I said, the Blackhawks up 3-1 in the second on the Panthers.
Mhm.
Preds and the Stars up on the Lightning 1-0 early in the second. Avalanche Coyotes get underway at 10. So Alberto, let me ask you this. We'll start with the Central.
Okay.
Who are your 4 playoff teams from the Central? Not your Final 4 yet. We'll get to the Final. Ryan McSpadden, let's go Rangers for you, Alberto. On the screen. Terrible. But we will get to the Final 4 in a minute, in a little bit, of our each team out of each division. But I want to know 4 playoff teams from the Central.
Okay. In order or just? I'll give you them in order.
Well, let's go order.
We'll go Bolts.
Bolts, okay.
Then we'll go Canes.
Okay.
We'll go Cats.
Cats.
And then we'll go Chicago. We'll go Hogs.
So you're keeping them where they are right now.
I'm keeping them where they are right now. Columbus has made a push. Hawks have backed off the gas pedal. Patty Kane, he can win a heart this year.
McDavid's gonna win.
I think McDavid's gonna win it, but
yes,
I think Kane is 2.
I like that.
Okay, so who are your 4 out of the Central?
I agree with the first 3 for sure. Tampa, Carolina, Florida, in that order. I honestly have whoever is 4th is going to get absolutely murdered in the first round.
Unless it's Dallas. Because Dallas can play. He skate.
The thing is, Dallas just is not. They're not putting it together.
They're not. I mean, they're playing better than what they did over the stretch between their 10th and 20th games.
I mean, yeah, but I'm not going to put them there right now. I would not be surprised if they get there. I just don't see them winning a playoff series.
Over Chicago and Columbus. That's at least maybe 6 to 7 points that they can grab there if they win.
I take back what I said. Dallas gets the last spot. You talked me into it, Alberto.
They got 28 games in hand. I mean, they have 5 games.
I stand by my statement that they're going to get murdered in the first round because something's not right unless the switch flips, which can. You see it all the time. St. Louis Blues, last in the league at the midpoint, won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Penguins in 16, 10th in the East, won the Cup. I don't know what's going on down there. I know there's still injuries, but you got to be playing through them at this point.
Yeah.
You have enough time to adjust to those injuries. But I'll take Dallas into there, but they're not going to go anywhere. I think it's those top 3 teams, and that's it.
And how many years have they played? 52?
56.
56?
So,
wow. Yeah, it's basically crunch time.
It's getting,
crunch time. Next week or at the start of
April. April 1's crunch time.
April,
yeah. They're going to, I think, like. So yeah, we're gonna get into crunch time. I would say second week of April, or around April 12th. Yeah. April 12th, April 11th, April 10th. They have two games more in their 2-point cushion. So right now, as they stand, we got a lot of disparities in now though. So
there is.
33 games for the Islanders, 46 points. Caps with 31 games, 44 points. Penguins with 32 games and 40 points. Boston with 28 and 36. Philly now with 30, 34. The Rangers with 31, 32.
New Jersey 29-26, and Buffalo has 30 games and 16 points on a 14-game skid, which I'm predicting that they beat the Penguins. So,
No, I see.
but
Dude.
could go to 16. I don't think we have any desire to talk about that. But hold their own for at least a little bit. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
It lasted about 10 games.
Yeah.
So, tough.
I mean, listen. I mean, from a Ranger standpoint, I keep looking at the points,
Mhm.
and I'm like, we're right there. Played.
That's the big one
And
that
that-
hurts.
and they have 3 games in hand, and they might win all 3, and it puts them right over.
Dealing with COVID right now, they missed their last 2 games. That's why they have such a big disparity.
Yeah.
So if right now they're scheduled to play on Thursday, don't know if they will. But they were supposed to play the Sabres. You can chalk that up as a win.
Yeah.
So 2 more points there. And the Islanders, which is a tough game. So let's say they go 1-2 there, 30 games, they still have one, and they have 38 points. You're back 6 points with 1 more game. That's tough.
Yeah.
Do you know if you play how much you play the Bruins?
I think we played them at least maybe 3 more times or so.
Mm.
3 or 4 more times.
Okay.
I think.
Because I know you've not had a good time against the Penguins. Because I know the
No.
Penguins are like 5-1
Yeah.
against
No,
the
we're
Rangers.
doing okay against Philly, not against Pittsburgh.
Washington.
Washington, we're doing well against. Buffalo, obviously.
Okay.
And the Islanders, not so much.
But so we knew that there would be teams playing spoiler in this division because there are 5 clear-cut playoff teams, and then the Rangers are on the fringe there.
Yeah.
So we knew it was going to be either the Rangers, Devils, or Sabres playing spoiler.
Mhm.
I don't even know if you can count the Rangers as a spoiler right now because they're technically still in it.
Yeah, they're not even.
The Devils are doing that job.
Yeah.
The Devils
Right.
are really doing that job tonight against Philly. They've been a thorn in Pittsburgh's side for the last 3 or 4 years now. They took 3 points, or the Penguins were only able to take 3 points out of 6 from them over the last 3 games that they played. They lost both to the Islanders. I mean, they're taking teams to overtime, like the Cavs beat the Bruins earlier this month. And looking at their schedule coming up, I mean, it's so brutal to be one of the bad teams in this division. It's every game is tough. You get no break. You get no Anaheim. You get no San Jose.
Yeah.
You get no Los Angeles.
You get Buffalo.
You get Buffalo. And if you're Buffalo, you don't even get Buffalo.
No, exactly.
Poor Sabres.
I mean, listen, the Rangers are in a good spot because they need to split that. Washington, they need to split that. They need to win both those games.
We're talking
Rangers.
the Rangers. Okay.
So over the next 6 games, they need to win 4 out of them, and obviously lose to Philly and Washington each. I like that.
Which then they're 12-3-1 at home.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty good. And so the Penguins coming up, they got Buffalo for 2 at home. They got the Islanders at home, which I think that's the last 2 games against the Islanders this year for them. They're 4-2 against the Islanders, who they have struggled against mightily the past playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And then to start April, they got 2 in Boston. They do a little 6-game trip: Boston, New York for the Rangers, and then the Devils. So it'll be interesting to see. But give me your 4 playoff teams in order for the East. In order.
In order. Okay,
In order.
so I'll go Washington, Islanders, Boston, Pittsburgh.
We're boring. So I got the same thing.
Listen, I'm not sold on the Islanders because remember last week or the 2 weeks before this week, the Islanders had an 8-game winning streak.
Yes.
I mean, let's look back at let's look back at it.
Okay. Oh, it was all Devils and Sabres,
6
wasn't
out
it?
of those 8 games were against Buffalo and New Jersey.
Yeah. 1 against Boston and
everybody's
there.
jumping on the Islanders bandwagon. I was like, let's chill out here.
1 against Pittsburgh and 1 against Boston.
I mean,
And-
let's
And coming out of that, they lost 3-1 to the Caps, 4-3 to the Flyers, beat the Flyers, and then they beat the Flyers twice. So
okay.
not bad.
I mean, listen, you're winning the games you're supposed to win,
Mhm.
but I mean, let's not put the Islanders coming out of the East all of a sudden like that.
Yeah.
That's what people were doing.
Yeah. I mean, I picked them out of the East originally.
Oh,
But yes, I did. But over on the YouTube channel, we haven't touched since we came back up here. Oops. But and that could set up for a 3 versus 4 Pittsburgh versus Washington East final.
Yeah.
Or that could set up for any combination. It's a crapshoot.
I think any combination of playoff series, the 2 playoff series in the East, will go to at least 6 games. And I think each series, no matter what the matchup is, whatever combination, I think they all go to 7 games.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that.
And if it goes to 6, it's going to be a hard 6 games.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the best hockey in a while.
Yep. I agree. I like the Islander Tampa Eastern Conference final. It was 6 games, but those were 6 tough, gritty games.
Tough games.
So same thing with Boston and Tampa last year.
Mm-hmm.
In the East Sense, it was 6 tough, gritty games.
Yeah.
So let's move to the North. They finally have their first COVID issue up there. It's the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah. Maybe they need a break. They probably need a break.
The Canadiens actually have the least games played out of the North.
Yeah, they need a break.
Yeah, they do, because they have been struggling.
Yeah.
4-2-4 in their last 10 after a blazing hot start in the league in the division with no defense. I was talking to my dad the other day, and I said, if you add up the 7 teams goals for in the North and compare them to the other 3 divisions with 8 teams in it, they're second.
Wow, that's a good stat.
And if their lowest goals right now is 88, and it's the Calgary Flames for some reason, if you put in another team with 88 goals, they're like a 50-goal cushion on any other division.
Yeah.
And some people fail to see this. This is why McDavid and Draisaitl have 60 and 50 points.
Yeah. I mean, look at
they know who
those.
those people are. You know who those people are.
Yeah.
But I mean,
look at the goals allowed from Ottawa. Look
Yeah.
at that number. 131 goals allowed.
115 for Vancouver. There are I'll list the goals for you. 107 Toronto, 116 Edmonton, 104 Winnipeg, 100 Montreal, 99 Vancouver, 88 Calgary, and 89 Ottawa.
Insane.
That's unbelievable. I will give credit to the Leafs, whose defense is usually knocked. They've only given up 83. That's least. So I will give.
That's honestly impressive for that division.
It is. I will give a lot of credit to the Leafs for that, but still. And I'm not, like I said on my McDavid Draisaitl comment before, I don't take anything away from them, but if they were playing a normal year, they would not have 60 and 50 points right now. They would probably be high 40s, mid to low 40s. High 40s McDavid, maybe 50, 51, and low 40s Draisaitl.
Yeah.
But still, it's impressive.
No, it is because, 42 out of the 56 games played. I mean, you're playing Ottawa, Calgary, Vancouver, and Montreal.
Yeah.
And we all know how the Toronto, the Montreal, Vancouver games go. We all know how the Toronto, Montreal games go. It's 6-5.
Yeah. Everyone. And no, there's a not a factual statement up if you're watching on the YouTube, Twitter, Facebook Live side. It says Rangers winning it all. That is simply not true. That's
LGR.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But yeah, so let's hear your 4 teams out of the North.
So I got
in order.
Okay, in order. Toronto, Edmonton, Vancouver, Winnipeg. I got Vancouver jumping up to 3. Yeah.
Toronto.
Okay.
Winnipeg. Edmonton. I want to see him put it together. Calgary. I want to see him put it together.
You were looking at them. I knew you were looking at them.
I like that team a lot. I don't know what it is. They've been so disappointing. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10, and they've been living at 500 all year. 15-15-3, 33 points. They still have 3 games on the Canucks, so they will jump them and get into 5th. They need Montreal to keep struggling because Edmonton's recipe for success is perfect in the North right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about the North playoffs, but the North regular season is perfect for them. They just need to start scoring. They really do.
Listen, the thing with Calgary, and I think the thing with hockey is that once you're 500, you can't really get out of that rut.
Well, I mean, you
It's
can.
hard. It's hard. No,
It is hard.
extremely hard because
But usually it's a complex answer or a series of things need to happen. A coach firing or a big shuffle of lines, something like that. But I think it's a one phrase answer. Score more goals. Johnny Gaudreau leads the team with 13 goals. He's the only one in double digits. Gaudreau 25 over that mark. That's the problem. If they can figure that out, they'll be fine. But I don't know if they're going to figure that out. They got the Senators next, which they have struggled mightily with.
No, they have.
That is the team you have to beat up on, like the Buffalo in the East. Like the Senators should be the ones with also having a 14-game losing streak, but they keep hitting the Flames and they keep beating them.
Yeah.
And there was some frustration last night. I don't know if you saw, little, like very unsportsmanlike move. The Senators had a rookie goalie, first time ever, first start, got the 2-1 win. Rasmus Anderson for the Flames tried to pick up and take the puck.
Really?
Yeah, and Brady Tkachuk went over and tried to fight him, and he eventually got the puck, which he should.
As he should.
But the frustration is starting to boil over.
No, that's definitely
Calgary.
frustration. That's definitely frustration because Ottawa has 11 wins because they've beaten Calgary at least 3 to 4 times now, right?
Yeah.
At least 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's not acceptable. And listen, like Gaudreau, remember in the 18-19 season, he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Last year was terrible.
Johnny Gaudreau needs to flip the switch, and he's been better this year.
No, yeah, because last year was
awful.
Disappointing. That was awful. He didn't show up in the bubble, and he's not showing up this year.
Mm-hmm. So the looking forward real quick, the Flames, Senators again. I like him to get the job done, but who knows?
You don't even know.
Jets at home for 3. That's tough.
Oh.
Canucks at Vancouver for 1. They're 7-2-1. Battle of Alberta over in Edmonton. That goes anyway.
Yeah.
Maple Leafs for 2 at home, which they actually have been able to beat the Leafs this year.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been able to beat the Senators, which is odd. Then you get the Canucks and Leafs again. So, I mean, I'm looking at this stretch in mid-April when we said crunch time starts. Canadians, Senators, 3 more Canadians. You've got to win those games. And you're going to be directly chasing the Canadians.
Yeah.
So you have to win those games, especially Montreal. You play them 5 times there.
5 times.
And then to round out the year, 3 times against the Oilers. It is twice against the Oilers, Jets, Oilers, Canucks.
Look at
That last end of that schedule is so winnable.
I'm looking at the Montreal stretch.
Mm-hmm.
From April 14th to April 26th, they're playing Montreal 5 times.
Yep, that will be, if they're still mired around 500, that will be their make or break point. And even if they are a little bit above 500 at that point, that'll still be their make or break.
For either team.
Yes, agreed.
For either team.
So let's quickly, we're running out of time here, move to the West real quick. And this is easy for me. Vegas, Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota, in that order. Nobody else is there.
Yeah, it's finally unfolded.
Finally.
Unfolded.
And
I think St. Louis will catch Minnesota.
I do too, which St. Louis 4-3-3 in their last 10. Minnesota 7-3. Colorado 8-1-1. Vegas 7-3 also. There's a very good chance I think Colorado catches Vegas also. I'm just gonna keep Vegas at 1 right now, and Colorado at 2, St. Louis 3, Minnesota 4. But the Wild are hot. The Wild are playing really well, and if it does stay the way it is right now, it would match up as a Blues Knights, Minnesota, Colorado, and Colorado. I mean, on paper, would get rewarded for not winning the division, but if Minnesota's still playing good, they could be dangerous out there. So they're very underrated, but I still don't see them going far.
No, yeah, I do want to see a Colorado-Minnesota series, and then Colorado will win that, I think, in 6 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I get to see a Vegas-Colorado West final.
Minnesota's not the sweep that we thought they were.
No, they're not.
So, all right, we have like 3 minutes left. So our new NHL Final Four teams, I'm not going to lie, I don't really remember who I picked originally.
Yeah.
So I have them somewhere. I don't know where.
No, I know you had the Islanders coming out of the
I did have the Islanders coming out of the East. I think I had the Maple Leafs. I had Colorado out of the West, and I think I had the Bolts out of the Central.
Yes.
Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I had Tampa, Boston,
Mm-hmm. Toronto,
No, I think I had
Calgary.
Vancouver coming out.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
that was a miscue.
Yeah.
And then Vegas.
Okay, so our Central is going to be Tampa still, but I think Carolina gives them a real good run for their money.
Well, that would be a phenomenal series.
I'd probably be rooting for Carolina then.
No, I was rooting for Carolina.
Who do you think? Who do you think comes out of the Central then?
Tampa.
Okay, so we
I
both
think-
got
I think
Tampa.
does.
In the East. Oh man, this is tough. You go first.
As a finals matchup.
Who comes out of the East? Who's number one in the
Oh, I
East? Who
got
comes out?
Boston. I got Boston.
You still have Boston coming
I
out?
still, I still got Boston.
Hmm.
Over
Over who?
the Islanders.
Okay.
Tough.
I'm gonna do Washington as much as I hate to say it,
Okay.
but if the Penguins can stay healthy, I think they're the best team in the division. That's a hot take, but the way that they are playing before Malkin got hurt,
Yeah.
if they stay healthy, because that's when they started playing really well, is when their blue line started coming back, and Malkin and Crosby were both dealing it out. They're very good. So, but I'm gonna go Washington right now. Out of the North, I'm going to Winnipeg Jets. They are going to be that pesky thorn in Toronto's side. I think Toronto finally wins in the first round, but do not get to that elusive third round. I think the Jets take care of business.
Okay.
Who do you got?
Listen, if you're Toronto, I got Toronto.
Mhm.
If you're Toronto, you have to come out of this
If you don't come out of this, they might burn down the stadium. The fans.
because
They legitimately might burn down.
Yeah.
What is it? What is it called now? Is it Scotiabank?
yeah,
anymore?
Scotiabank.
It's Scotiabank. Air Canada Center. Air Canada. They might burn down Scotiabank.
because listen, you're not playing Boston, you're not playing Montreal, you're not playing Tampa, you're not in the
You're not in the Atlantic, which is a juggernaut up top.
you're not in the Atlantic anymore. This is your division to lose,
Yep.
and if they don't, there's serious questions that need to be answered.
And I think Edmonton goes out in 5 in the first round. Just saying that now to get that on the record because they're not going to win in the playoffs.
No, that's not. They're a regular season team.
Correct.
They are a regular season team. If Edmonton has to play a 7-game series, if they have to play the same team at least 4 times in a row, they might win game 1.
Yeah.
And then the opposing side, either Winnipeg or Toronto, whoever they match up against, will figure them out with the rest of the series.
And then real quickly, because we're over time here, Colorado.
Vegas.
Philip Grubauer has a 1.71 goals against average. Marc-Andre Fleury is not far behind. Give me the Avs. They're my Stanley Cup pick. And that would set up for a fantastic Final Four with whatever we have there. Really interested to see what Canadian team. So,
Oh yeah, no, look at them. Whatever it is,
I'm sure Canada will get the advantage.
whatever it is,
Yep.
the Canadian team, the representative Canadian team, will get an advantage.
All right, so that's all the time we have for tonight. Next week, I'm so excited. I think we're gonna have Tom in here if he's able. MLB special. We're gonna be breaking every division down, every team down, giving our playoff picks, World Series pick, award picks. Mike Trout's the AL MVP. That's all we got for tonight. Tune in next week. You're not gonna want to miss it. The MLB season starts on April 1st. Alberto, I cannot wait. And you and listening and or watching to Cal and Seitz on WSBU 88.3 The Buzz. Have a good night, everybody.